Yeah, I finally started a new character because I felt like my last Aiming video, you can tell it's pretty much an endgame build at this point. There's still changes that need to happen, but for the most part, it's mostly done. Of course, and also, I mean, I learned, unfortunately, that they plan... I'm a new Borderlands player. I didn't know they did this, and I really hate it, too. But it is what it is. Those players, I just feel like, ruined the game for the rest of us. Because apparently, those players and those devs, really, the combination of the two, leading to that stuff being in games like this. So they're going to increase the level cap, which will in turn increase the gear level so that my current gear will become totally useless in the future. So that's nice, because you can't level up gear in this game, even though you should be able to. You can in Outriders, you can in other looter shooters, but this one, nope. Apparently, devs and players who defend this say, oh, well, I just like grinding the exact same gear piece a few levels higher at some point. I'm like, gosh, I will never understand that nonsense. To me, it's nonsense to me. I understand it from a dev perspective. I don't understand it from a player perspective, because from a dev, it's really just greedy laziness, and those players just play into that, because there's no real good reason to think about it. If you're a greedy corporate dev, if players tell you that, oh, well, I really like grinding for the sake of grinding, and that's it, and just increasing the level cap so I can just go out there and farm that same boss another million times to try and get that same exact role I had before because you won't let me level up my gear. Like, when a dev sees that, it's like, I can only imagine being that person, trying to put myself in the corporate shoes, and I'm like, well, yeah, this is clearly just a lazy money grab, because it's so easy for us. It's like, oh, well, all we got to do is increase the level cap and make sure you can't level up your gear in this game, and voila, that's, quote, content. That's apparently content for those players. Because, adding real content, like, I don't know, more characters, more missions, more bosses. I mean, they're going to do some of that, but my point is like, if they spend a lot more time focused on, like, creating more missions to do, adding more to the world, adding more stuff for your OP build to do in the game, would be how you keep my kind of interest as a player. But see, that the thing is, that takes time and money. It takes no time and money to just increase the level cap for those players and just say, oh, well, here you go. Go, gladly, we'll do that for you. Go grind away again. Go grind away in the same game we made. So yeah, like, at least objectively, like, if you're a player and you just say, well, I still genuinely feel like that, I still genuinely enjoy just my subjective experience, fine, okay, it is still gaming at the end of the day, but don't you dare try and tell me that it's some sort of objective, like, oh yeah, like the devs aren't taking advantage of that feeling, or that, and also it's like, I don't understand why it's forced on the rest of us in this game. Because to those players, I could just simply say, well, why don't you just do that? And why don't you just still let there be a level up system in the game for me to use? If you want to go try and grind out the exact same piece you had before for a few levels higher instead of leveling up your current gear, hey, nothing's stopping you from doing that. Including in looter shooters that actually have a level up system. If you want to do that, go do that. Why do you force it on the rest of us? So, that's going to get me into hot water, I'm sure, with a lot of Borderlands fans, some who might actually be watching my videos now, and I'm like, I don't care. That's how I feel. I hate that system in this game. That might make me quit Borderlands. So, like, the Borderlands fans, old-time fans, apparently this always exists in the game. The devs have always increased the level cap multiple times in the previous games, because apparently they are feeding into that player base. All I have to say is, like, well, don't be surprised if you don't extend the life of Borderlands, or don't increase the player count to its, like, you lose more players over time, because those in the minority, but still a sizable one I saw for some of the polls, and I know it's a minority because there were some, like, Reddit polls where they actually asked this question: And most Borderlands players who responded to the poll said that they did not want a level up, a gear level up system. It was like a 50, it was like a 75 to 40-ish split or something like that. Like, it was clearly the majority of players. But also the minority was clearly not a tiny minority either, like me. So it's not like my voice is not like, is a loner in the crowd or is a loner in the crowd. No, I know there's a lot of other people who agree with exactly what I just said. But unfortunately, it's not the majority, and that's disappointing because that just means it's going to happen, and I'm going to hate it when it does. But for now, I'm just trying to think, like, okay, well, what do I want to do? Like, it's so stupid because, like, when I looked online, people were even saying, it's like, oh, well, don't bother trying to get the god rolls until they're done increasing the level cap. I'm just like, well, why do I have to wait for that? That's so stupid. Just have the level cap where it is when the game releases, like a finished game. Like, what? What? How is that how can anyone justify this crap? It makes no sense to me in any game I play. There's no real justification for it. Again, it's all subjective feelings for those players. It's like, oh, I just like this. I'm like, oh, great, I don't. And also, objectively, they're definitely taking advantage of this. Like, objectively, this mindset definitely leads to a taking advantage of the player and spending less on the games, because again, like, why would you waste any money or time adding more content or stuff to actually do in the game when you can just do that every few months? But yeah, anyway, I got on such a rant on that as usual, a tangent rant. The important thing is like, okay, I finally felt like I needed to play something else. Again, this was partially the reason I wanted to start a new character, because I realized, well, there's no point even trying to grind better stuff for my aiming now, because it's just going to get taken away from me when they increase the level cap, and I can't level up my gear with it, so it won't even matter in the long term. I hate that feeling. Like, I leveled up to 50 as quickly as I could, precisely because I'm one of those players who I just get infuriated when I see, like, a perfect god roll level 45 while I'm trying to get to 50 in a game where you can't level it up. Then it just makes me think I wasted all that time finding that perfect roll only to be told by the game that it's not perfect, because now I have to wait till level 50 to finally try and find something better. But now it's actually going to be level 55 and then 60. I mean, they're apparently going to drop this multiple times, which just makes it even more frustrating. Like, who knows how long you're going to have to wait as a Borderlands 4 player before you can actually start farming, quote, a god roll confidently without devs changing the level cap again on you. So, again, never understand the justification for that crap. But anyway, again, the important thing is I'm trying Vex over aiming. I tried Rafa, and here's the thing, I really like playing as a tank build, of course, but a very casual, balanced build is what I like to say. I don't need to one-shot bosses. I don't want to get crits or combos, because I just want to play as lazy as I can. Just especially when I'm playing on console and I have a life, it's like, no, just shoot. And I'm getting older, so it's like, nope, so reflexes are, going to go away eventually. So I'm just like, nope, just point, blindly shoot things, blindly use my skills. No strategy whatsoever required from the build. It's always what I try to get. And for that reason, make it a tank. So it's like I don't have to pay attention to anything. Just be invincible anywhere. And Eamon can achieve that very well, of course, as we know now. When I tried Rafa, and again, maybe an endgame Rafa, I don't know all his legendary class mods, for instance, and stuff, that might be able to give him, like, infinite uptime on some of his class nodes, but that was, like, one of the first things I noticed when I tried to do Rafa. It's like, oh, this is rough. I tried to do Rafa starting just like I did here on UVH1 with a brand new character, and I was struggling. And I definitely couldn't beat Splashzone this easily like I did on Vex here. But when I did Vex, I looked at the skill tree and I realized, okay, you can already make an almost infinite uptime on her minions right off the gate by just focusing on increasing health on everything, on you and on your minions, increasing their health as much as possible so they can take hits, obviously, better. And so that, because you may say, well, their health decreases at a percentage-based amount, so it doesn't matter how much health they have. But no, because, I mean, well, actually, I don't really know. So, you know what, I might be totally wrong about this. But I assume they can still take damage from enemies attacking them. And so having a higher health bar means that they're able to absorb more hits. Those hits do less of a percentage to their health, which means their percentage decline on their health, scaling up constantly, isn't going to affect them as much if they're not taking as much damage from enemies, though. So increasing their tankiness is still worth it for increasing their uptime, is what I'm saying. And then, of course, I realize getting the capstone that lets it so I can make it so they just stop taking any health degradation over time, and then be able to use 2 augments and then combine the augments, both of which give them health restoration, which again keeps them up, and then the other one lets them unleash a super melee attack that heals them to again keep them up. So I'm like, okay, I'm seeing this Vex tree. I'm seeing the way I can just easily synergize my first, 29 points here into already having an infinite minion build, which is just awesome. And then when I did, it's like, okay, this game just got a lot easier. And I have I'm starting right at UVH1, which I mean is, if you think about it, that's harder than hard difficulty. So it's like, I'm already starting at a semi-legendary difficulty for starting the game at least, and staying on that difficulty, and I have nothing. Like, I have hardly anything. They do give you, boxes, because all the main quests are considered done when you start. But they actually, some players I remember complaining that you get nothing, but it's like, well, they give you gear, because you just have to open up all those chests immediately. And yeah, there'll be some decent stuff you can use right out the gates, but obviously you won't be able to get everything good right out the gate. But even so, opening that, just having average stuff, not remotely having any complete gear yet, right out of the gates, I immediately went straight to Splashzone, killing on the way into him, and I'm like, this game is actually still already easy now for my Vex for the most part. I can still die because I can take a crap load of damage. Also, I don't get infinite uptime on those minions. You saw in this video, actually, or maybe I think it was right after this video, I actually found a rep kit that had acceleration on it, and I'm like, oh yes, I want that. What I learned is action skill duration doesn't help her minions at all, because it's all based off their just percentage of health that keeps dropping off them when you summon them. So action skill duration doesn't help the uptime of her minion skill at all, her blue one at least. So that's when I realized action skill cooldown is honestly still helpful at keeping infinite uptime, because if you think about it, it's like I don't quite get as much cooldown enough to just keep 4 minions, like my maximum of 4 minions out all the time. I really can't do that yet, but I can tell that probably getting more damage and health restoration in the future will help with that too, which I know I can get. But in the meantime, things I know I can definitely get to help with it is action cooldown rate, increasing my action cooldown rate even more, which is also why I got that kill skill, that one that every time a minion dies, it activates kill skills, and so I got the action skill cooldown one for kill skill. So anytime a minion dies, it's either adding or restacking action skill cooldown to get a minion back faster to be able to activate the skill faster again. So I'm doing that kind of synergy, and I can tell. I mean, you can see here already, it's like, already I'm OP, man. This was not Rafa, I can tell you that. When I tried Rafa, even doing the Peacebreaker cannons, I tried both, I think, or not all 3, but I didn't try the melee one, because I could already tell the melee one was just going to be way too hard, because there's nothing, it doesn't give you anything, unlike Eamon's melee skill that actually makes you a tank while you're in melee. Rafa's doesn't. It gives you these cool swords. I wish I could use it because it's a cool ability, but then you don't get any sort of like shield restoration or anything like that to help you stay alive during it. And so really you're just shooting yourself in the foot with his melee skill. So I tried his Peacebreaker cannons and his Apophis Lance, and it was kind of fun, and I'm sure if I built him up I could eventually survive, but I just could tell right out the gate though, it's like, this is really hard trying to stay alive on UVH1 right now. And that's when I realized, well, I like really casual builds, so you know what? Maybe Vex was the next character I wanted to do after Eamon. And sure enough, Minion Vex, it's like, honestly, right now it seems it's even, I'm not tankier than my Eamon at the start, but I'm surviving even better than Eamon just because of the minions. So you can just simply keep your distance and let them kill everything and have infinite uptime for the most part in combat on him already. So like, yeah, this is super easy mode right now, which is exactly what I want. That's how I like to play again. That's what I want to make, is builds like that. So we'll have to see. I mean, eventually I'll probably try the Timekeeper shield, the health shield, I'm sure, whenever I can get it on her, and stuff like that to try and really maximize, and also try to increase her Reaper damage as much as I can while still maintaining, you know, while still increasing her own durability, so I can make, again, a tank build on her, but have the Reaper still do enough damage, hopefully, that it doesn't take, you know, ages to kill a boss. I mean, you can still shoot, of course, and I already know from Eamon, it's like, well, I might just want to get 4 of those beam toss shotguns then again. Just let my Reapers take all the aggro, and then just slap all 4 beam toss shotguns on her for maximizing her single target damage that way whenever I'm encountering, you know, elite enemies or bosses. But I can tell I'm probably going to have fun with Vex, though. This is definitely a fun build.